Okay, this is Warwick Capper, the lean mean excitement machine, blonde hair, blue-eyed, ready for takeoff. For small business, big marketing. Tune in now for Wizard Capper. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show, where successful small business owners share their secrets to take your marketing to the next level. Now here's your host, Tim Reid.
G'day listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. But you, so much more importantly, are a motivated small business owner ready to crank out some great marketing. And that's just what we do around here. That is why you are tuning in, I assume. Really good show today. Fun show, funny show, and a show full of taking action. My guest, Warwick the Wiz Capper, as you would have identified at the top end of the show there. For those who don't know who that is, if you are listening outside the world of AFL football or outside of Australia, I will explain who that is shortly. I've got some listener feedback, some really good listener feedback. I have been seeded. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? But I have been seeded, and I'll explain what that means and what it has led to. And I do want to talk about taking action. It's something that keeps popping up in my marketing world, and I'm sure your marketing world, and inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. It is all about taking action. That's where success lies. So I want to talk about that. Let's get stuck right in.
Small Business Big Marketing with Tim Reid.
Okay, so as I said, I have been seeded. Now, I've spoken about seeding previously, and I've had a number of guests on the show that have been very good at seeding. What do I mean by that? Seeding, when you are interviewed, is the ability to drop your business name, your website address, some little kind of nugget that will direct listeners back to your business in some way, shape or form. Seeding is also where someone may send the creator of some media, i.e. like me, a podcaster, a gift of some sort. And I think in a previous editorial a few weeks ago, I suggested that, maybe some car manufacturer could send me a car to test drive, or an airline could send me on a holiday to review, the customer service at a resort on a tropical island or something. That hasn't happened. But what has happened is a long-time listener in Lena Van Ray, has seeded me with some toilet paper. Yep, toilet paper. Poo tickets, as they are affectionately known. Now, here's the letter I got from the lovely Lena. She says, "Dear Timbo, huge fan of the show, love your work. I love listening to your podcasts that are dripping with gold while I paint my tables, jog or walk to my cool little office to run my own business." She says, "I would like to recommend a funny and very clever business owner who helped start Who Gives a Crap?" And his name's Simon Griffiths. And now this note that I'm reading was accompanied by a box with 6 rolls of poo tickets. Now, Lena goes on to describe Who Gives a Crap toilet paper as coming with 1,200% more puns than normal toilet paper. In fact, this is what it says on the packaging of the toilet paper. It donates 50% of their profits to fund sanitation projects. So it's a business with a social conscience. Simon, the owner, has a passion for toilet humour. Oh, we've got something in common, Simon. And she says here, for them to bust open their first production of toilet paper, they needed to raise $50,000. This was done with ease with Simon's funny marketing campaign, where he sat on a toilet for 50 hours until people crowdfunded the project. And there's a YouTube video to go with that, which I'll put in the show notes, team, for episode 194. Go over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com and you can see that marketing stunt. But so clever, Lena. You kind of seeded me. You kind of got my attention to get Simon on the show, and I will do that because it sounds like a fun story. And thanks for the 6 rolls of toilet paper. You can never do with it. You can never have enough of that. And Lena, thanks for your support too. You've got a great business, bikeandblend.com.au, BIKEN blend.com.au. And Lena's business, she supplies bikes to events where people hop on these bikes. They should be called bikes, shouldn't they? And these bikes are attached to blenders, and you can make your own juices and stuff. So, clever little business there, a fun little business. Love your work, Lena. Thanks for your support. Now, as you know, team, this podcast is supported. It is made possible by the very good folk at, that's right, I heard you, Net Registry. And they are here to help you nail all your online marketing needs. And some you didn't even know you had. Whether it be registering a domain, website design and hosting, helping you get found on Google with some clever SEO, aka search engine optimization. They can even set you up with an email marketing campaign. You've got to love that. Ensuring you have a decent digital footprint is critical when marketing your business. And this goes way beyond just having a website. So head over to netregistry.com.au today and see how they can get your online marketing sorted. It'll be much cheaper and easier than you think. And tell them Timbo sent you. Now, this is a topic that continues to rear not so much its ugly head, it's not ugly at all, but it continues to raise its head inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. Whenever I speak to a group of small business owners somewhere in the world, which is happening every week of my life at the moment, it's all about the ability or the lack of ability to take action. Now, action is where the magic is for all small business owners in regards to their marketing. You can do all the research you like about Google AdWords or getting your website right or starting a networking strategy or booking an ad in the local paper or doing a letterbox drop. You can find out as much as you want. But unless you actually do it, unless you actually take the action, then it's all academic. And you know what? Strive for production, not perfection. Production, get out there, produce stuff, get it out there, and then start to make changes if it doesn't work. But don't wait for things to be perfect. Get stuff out there. So I got this note from the Fat Badger, aka Bruce McLeod, a long-time listener of the show and a wonderful commenter inside the show notes in the blog posts of each episode. So thanks for that, Bruce. But Bruce got wind of the fact that I was trying to get the Wolf of Wall Street on the show, and he said, "Look, he sent me an email. He said, look, I went and saw him, gave me a bit of a summary of what he learned from that." And at the end of this email, Bruce says, "The main message from the event I attended is take massive action. Simple enough, but for some business owners, very hard to do." Ain't that the truth, Bruce? Why is that? Procrastination, maybe. How many people have great ideas that they ultimately decide weren't so great, but never really put in the effort required to allow their idea to gain traction? It may be time for those of us who gave up too quickly or too easily to review past ideas and take massive action. They are beautiful words there, Bruce. And in fact, I then direct you to forum member Phil. Phil has a business called iNightingale, and it is I'll give you the web address actually, iNightingale.net, and it's a home care education business. Phil is a trained nurse, and he is now educating carers on how to look after their loved ones in their homes. And Phil made comment about taking massive action recently inside the forum. His headline to this post is "Just Do It." And I think you'll find this inspiring. He says, "Well, where do I start? I was all miserable about not getting anywhere. I put a comment on one of the podcasts and Tim responded with, 'The magic is in the action, Phil. Don't wait for the stars to align. Just do it. Do something.'" I did. I absolutely said that. I absolutely believe it. Phil goes on to say, "Well, that was 3 weeks ago. Since then," and I'm going to kind of paraphrase this to not go into great detail as to what Phil has specifically achieved, but he has booked a meeting with a person of influence, which led to 1 warm lead and 5 to 6 new pieces of content and meeting someone lovely. Number 2, he will be hosting a radio show starting in August this year. Number 3, he has a grant to start working with in July. Number 4, finally found his big question that he's going to answer in all his marketing in order to clear up his focus. Number 6, he got a keynote speaking gig at a conference. And number 7, helps 6 families to care for their parents at home. And he feels bloody great. You know what, team? It is all about taking action. If you're sitting on an idea for a business or a marketing idea that you think, oh, should I or shouldn't I? You know what? Try it out. Give it a go. If you don't, you'll never know. Okay, let's get stuck into today's guest, Warwick the Whiz Capper. Now, for those of you who are not followers of Aussie rules football or who don't live in Australia, you are going to need to Google Warwick Capper to sort of get a sense, to see who he is, to see how he operates, how he looks. He's an interesting fella. He's an AFL superstar of the 1980s. He became famous due to the very tight shorts that he wore, the long blonde mullet haircut that he donned on the football field, and he also led a very flamboyant lifestyle, driving around in Ferraris and living the high life was Walker, and he really did make a name for himself. He's a really good footballer too. Post-football, however, he continued to just have a real crack. He was on the TV show Neighbours. He made a guest appearance. He appeared in Penthouse magazine. He was on Celebrity Apprentice of recent years, Celebrity Big Brother. He was in the headlines for having a fair bit of plastic surgery. He's had many business dealings. He's been a lollipop attendant, at children's school crossings. On his website, he offers the services of a hens and bucks party MC, corporate speaking, endorsements, comedy, weddings, you name it. He is, I said at the start, he's an opportunist. I love the fact that he just has a red hot go. Now, many of you who do know him are probably wondering, why would I get him on the Small Business Big Marketing Show? And that's a fair question. 2 reasons. One is self-indulgent. I've laughed at and with Walker for many, many years. There's something magnetic about him. It might say as much about me as it does about him, but he has made me laugh. And sometimes I wonder, am I laughing at him or with him? The fact is I've got a smile on my face. I also think he has made the most of what he's been given. He is an entrepreneur. He takes opportunities when they come along. And I kind of had this outstanding question in my mind as to whether, is he a genius or is he the opposite of genius? I don't want to say that word because I think it's mean, but I have come to think that he's not quite a genius, but he's certainly not stupid. He's running lots of little businesses. He's run his own little business. He's marketing it in his own way. And I think you'll find this interview really interesting. Walker talks quickly. He trips over his words sometimes. We talk over each other every now and then, but stick with it. I hope you enjoyed. Here he is, Warwick the Whiz Capper.
Warwick Capper is here for your satisfaction of a small business. I'm the man.
You are the man, mate. Now, I have an audience, Warwick, a global audience, and you're not going to believe it, but many don't know who you are. So for listeners who don't, you go ahead and tell them who you are.
They soon will, mate, because I'm actually a bit of a global sensation now. I've been big in America. I played a bit of a game over there years ago. I thought no one knew me over there. And I saw a lady in Chicago, and she goes, "Oh, I know you. You're that guy who looks like a wrestler, the good-looking barbarian guy with the tight shorts, and you wear no padding. You're amazing, and you sit on heads for a living." I said, "Yeah, Bowles, I certainly do."
So she got that wrong.
Yeah, she got that wrong, but I don't like different things, to be serious.
Let's start from... I don't want to go through your life history, and I'm sure you don't either, but seriously, for listeners, you're one of the biggest names in AFL football in the 80s.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. I've been milking it ever since. I've played in 20 years, and I'm probably still the most recognised name in the sport around Australia. So that's what Lou Richard said in his book. He said I was the second most recognised sportsman in Australia behind Greg Norman, which is a nice accolade. And I think, to be serious, is I reinvent myself. I'm a little bit different. I do corporate talks around the world in Australia. Thanks to boomsales.com.au, they can book me and Big Trent. We do all the different venues like yourself around the world. Yeah. They can book me through warwickcapper.net too.
Oh, you are a machine, mate. I would
like to leave that bit in warwickcapper.net, and you get me as a corporate, and you can get something out of your business. You can get a bit of comedy and a way to get to the people in economic society to perform at the best level.
Did you say in economic society?
Yeah, we'll try and get the best out of yourself. It's tough times, as you know, young man. It's tough times out there. People are hurting, and I think I said the message where you've got to stand out and be a bit different and not be scared of what people think of you.
Warwick, tell me about... You are a machine. I do, mate, and I want to come back to that. You're a machine at milking things, and I reckon there's a lot of small business owners out there who leave money on the table, but... Mate, I don't reckon you would have left a cent on any table. You milk it. What's your secret to milking?
I think just being good at selling yourself and being confident in yourself and confident in your own ability. That's like in business, because I've got shares in a men's it's a beautician place called Man With a Fuss, and I think the trend is changing in business and also in pleasure, where guys have to look after themselves. And they used to be embarrassed about getting Botox, getting their face fixed up and losing a bit of weight. But now people want to look good and stand out a bit and try and get the best out of themselves. That's all about presentation, isn't it? And standing out among the crowd.
Have you had a bit of work done?
Yeah, well, it's my company, so I have to.
You just get...
I'm 51 next week, I look about 37, so it's good. It's been great.
Well,
like I say to my followers and the fans, there's no sitting on heads if you don't follow through for the goal, is there?
Correct. Exactly right. That's a footy analogy. Do you ever? I had a lady on last week. She's the voice of Siri. So Siri, the Apple Siri. So, and we talked. Her name's Karen Jacobson. We talked a lot about self-doubt, and she actually was crippled by anxiety for many years before she became successful. Do you have any self-doubt, or are you seriously? What we see is just this bloke who is completely in love with himself.
Not really. I sort of am, but I'm in love with everyone else too. I might be loving myself, but I'm also in love with other people, and I like being down to earth, because I've got probably millions of fans, but a lot of them, I've probably got 10% of haters where they go, I'm a bit of an arrogant wanker. And then they meet me and go, gee, he's a top bloke. He's just like me and you. Yep. So once they get to know me, they change their minds. Mm-hmm. Like when I was doing a campaign for QuickBeds Flight Centre, I'll give you an example. And the catch cry was, Warwick Capper, AFL legend and movie star. Their rooms are great rates, they're cheap and easy, just like me. And that was like laughing at myself. Yep. But that went global around the world, and we got the company up by 160%.
What'd you get paid for that, Capper?
A fair bit, yeah. 6 figures and a bit more, but I was worth every cent.
Love it.
In awareness. I can't say too much, the tax man will get me, but I did okay. And then I was in Nando's Man last year, where it says, in my leopard skin jocks, I said, and the catch cry was, thanks to Sphere Agency, the sun shines out of your buns, not ours, Warwick. Chicken tropical burger.
So it's all about believing in yourself, eh?
Yeah, believing in yourself. And now this week on the Face of the Boat show, and me and Brent Enoston, and the catch cry for this one, which is great marketing too, is Warwick Capper, get down the Melbourne Boat Show and tell them Wizard Capper sent you and get a great deal. In second thoughts, don't tell them I sent you at all and get a better deal. B-class celebrities, A-class deals.
Love it.
See? Never be ashamed to laugh at yourself.
I think that's great advice, and in fact, Walker, I've got a few. I've got a forum, and I've got a few members. I said to them last night, "Hey, listen, I'm talking to Warwick Capper. Have you got any questions?" And there's some really insightful questions that have come through, which I'll share with you over the course of this chat. But one is around personal branding, and I've got. Let's talk about that, because I reckon you manage your brand so incredibly well, and I want to know. I don't know. let's talk about how you do it. I've got Paul Smart, one of my forum members. He calls himself the professional wino. He says, watching Warwick in The Celebrity Apprentice, I think he's a little smarter than his persona shouts. I would love to know if he has a formal written business plan and marketing plan, or does he fly from the seat of his pants? Does he get help, business coaching consultants, or does he study himself and read books? Geez, mate, you're breathing into the phone heavy there too, by the way.
I just ran 6K, that's why. Yeah, I just got back. Yeah, so I like to...
So tell us about you managing your... It is a good question. Do you manage your personal brand, to within an inch of its life, or do you fly by the seat of your pants?
Probably a bit of both. I've started when I was 17. I had a fierce desire to play league football, which I did. And then I had a fierce desire to make it in the media and be a little different. So after my first interview, I've done about 70,000 since. I know how to sort of manipulate it, and I sort of know what I'm doing. So it's sort of a bit of a lunacy, but I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you survive for 30 years without it. Plus, I've had some good help off a few good speakers and how to portray yourself.
Have you? So who gives you advice?
Well, I did a lot of shows with Jacko. I'll actually give him a bit of rap because he knows a bit of lunatic. Mark Jackson.
Speaking of lunatics,
I wouldn't say he's my mentor, but he's not a bad comedy speaker. So I did a fair few shows with Jacko over the years, and also done a lot of business ones, with Amway and with Trent from boomsales.com. He does like corporates, so I do a lot of stuff with him. Where we go to NAB and ANZ, and I'm actually going to be the face of NAB. I'll give you a bit of a secret where I'm going to go into their place and get them all cheered up.
Of National Australia Bank.
Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, so I've got a few good ideas there, and where we can get their people fired up because people are getting depressed in there working long hours.
Yes.
So, and to answer that guy's question, it's half me and half got some good advice.
Right. So does that advice is that a kind of formal thing where you catch up with someone once a week, or you bounce an idea off someone, or they're watching you back the whole time? How does it work?
Yeah, I've got a guy who looks after me. I've had some good managers. I've had Harry Miller, Max Marks, and Elliston. Even though he's a bit unusual, but he's done pretty well for himself. I've had some usual mentors, and Mike Willisey and Peter Hogan from Menset.
Yeah, right.
So just a lot of sort of been there, done that in business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What? Let's talk about business, because mate, go on.
I'm actually doing a show tonight with Wayne Carey, so I do a lot of footy clubs and a lot of corporates, so it's going to be good. I also have Luke Hodge tonight at Merrimblong Footy Club. So I love
the Hodgie.
Yeah, he'll be hanging off my every word, no doubt.
Yeah, mate, he's probably telling everyone right now that he's going to be doing a show with you.
He'd be excited. I went to the basketball last month. I was the face of the Tigers. I was their mascot, and I've got more clubs than him, so he's a bit jealous, but it's okay.
Tell me, you've had a lot of businesses. You do a lot. So let's talk about some of the businesses you've got happening now. You've got now. I understand you got a share in a BMW dealership. What else you got?
Yeah, I'm sort of the face of BMW at South Yarra.
Right.
I do their marketing, and hopefully I'll be their ambassador for BMW and Jeep.
Right.
I did the corporate talk last week at Etihad. That was good. Mm-hmm. And we're in the hunt now for some premises to open a cafe called Cappuccino's. Just the play on words, which I think what's cafe?
What's going to be the kind of unique selling point of cappuccino?
Yeah, besides myself, probably all the memorabilia, all the great photos in the wall. Yeah, they can come in and have a handball competition. And I've got the back of I've got a bit of a guy who can back me who's done some great food, and had some great cafes.
Right. So what you're doing really is you're kind of constantly looking for opportunities to leverage your name. Is that your business?
That's probably good, but because they probably said my name's probably worth $100 million. I've had probably $100 million.
Who said that?
Yeah, that's what they said in the book of celebrities. They said Warwick's had $100 spent on him if he had to pay for it. So it's good to have a bit of recognition and look it properly.
Sometimes you see celebrities. I know Ian Thorpe years ago, Olympic swimmer Ian Thorpe. He put his name to some pretty crazy stuff. I think it was at one point diamonds. and I think water. He had a couple of failures. How do you decide? Do you literally, like, if someone's got a checkbook and wants to use your name on their product, do you go, yep, just write down this number, or do you actually strategically look at it?
Yes, I do, because I put a past the manager first, and we might knock back 50% and take 50. It's going to be good for the branding. Even though I've done mostly everything. My next one, I'm going to be the face of Nanogen hair care, where it makes your hair thicker, because I've got the best mullet in business. You've got a great mullet. You have got a great mullet. So I'm going to be the big Nanogen face, which is it's good product, because I'm 1 in 3 guys are bald. So I think that's fantastic. Yeah, well, so I believe in that. So. Answer your question, you got to believe in the product, there's no use doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Are there any businesses that you specifically own, or is it always you're the marketing angle of someone else's business? Most I do it that way, yeah. Mostly I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, so I just put my own to it, get shares in it. Like I'm going to be the face of I'm a major shareholder of Man Want a Fuss, which we've got 4 shops now. We're going to have about 55 shops in the next 5 years. Going global. And we're going to even take it over to America and New York in the next 5 years. Do you ever get involved in the marketing? Yeah, I like it, yeah. It's interesting. What's your view on marketing? I just think trying to stand out and be great to your shareholders. Mm-hmm. We treat our shareholders like our children. We look after them. And then they stay on board and they keep coming back. What do? You be nice to them, and you don't lie to them, and you tell them the truth. Yeah. And when you're expanding, you share the profits and you share together. You don't be too much of a tight ass. You look after them. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I've got a question here. Forum member Arn. Arn owns signatureclothing.com.au. He's a long-time listener of this show, Warwick. He says, for some perverse reason, I quite like Warwick. There's not enough bogan, colourful characters, in-your-face crazies around now in this sterile, politically correct world. Very well said, young man, and I should be the face of your clothing too, so make sure you give me a ring. Well, he's one of the great... Arn works in the mines by night, and he runs a online clothing company by day. He's a great fella, and I reckon he's right, Warwick. I grew up in an advertising agency where there were characters in the late 80s, early 90s, and as the world got more serious, as the world got more politically correct, those characters have disappeared. Yes, it has, especially in the 80s. All the 80s characters are gone now. And it's always to be a good footballer, but you also got to market yourself properly and also have a bit of a laugh too. Yep. But I can be serious too, so you might want to use me for his brand. I'd be interested to talk to him. It'd be fantastic. Well, I'd love you to do it for free for Arn, because he's such a good bloke, so I'll organise that. Yeah, pass the number on, I'll be face signature too. I love that stuff. Hey, what was that? I said, good on him for liking our Warwick Capper. It's going to be a bit of I do think, when I thought about getting you onto this show, I would talk to various people, and my view is you have made the most of what you've got, right? And you've really worked it hard. And other people go, oh, yeah, but he's a bit of a duffer. And I go, I don't think he is, because, work with what you got, eh? Yeah, I'm not really a duffer at all. It's really calculated, and it's knowing how to get the best out of yourself and be a bit different. That's why I do a different thing. Are you offended by the fact that people think you're a duffer? No, if I worried about that, I wouldn't get out of bed, would I? I walk down the street and get 50 photos and autographs. So they're just a bit jealous. Yeah, correct. Correct. I'm not worried about because when I put things on my wall and Twitter and stuff, you got to fit that bag, yeah. But you got to be thick-skinned to be a copper. Because one guy said yesterday, when I was the face of the boat show, he goes, oh, you're getting a bit old, fella. But that happens, and 95% say you're looking great and young, and there's always one or two in a bag, yeah? But you just can't be too thick-skinned, too thin-skinned, I mean. Too thin-skinned, yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Everyone gets old. Just portray yourself and try and keep fit. One of the things that I've noticed about the way you've gone about your business, I want to talk about your public speaking career in a moment, because I do a lot of speaking as well, but one of the things that I've noticed is that you rely on the existing media. Geez, you just gave me a heavy breath then, mate. You're not with your partner or something, are you? That was an hour ago. Yeah, I gave it the best 35 seconds of life. It was fantastic. One of the things that I've completely lost my train of thought then. You're killing me. I've got to tell you why I used to wear tight shorts, so just butting in. Well, everyone else around the world. Explain to overseas listeners this, will you? Yeah, because I used to, well, to overseas listeners, I'm actually big in Thailand, which I'm doing a movie in 3 months called My Son the Queen. So you'll see that end of the year. So people don't know me in Thailand and Pakistan or wherever you go. I used to wear the tightest shorts in the business because I was like a rock star, right? I was like the Bon Jovi at AFL. Yeah. And one day, to the listeners, I had to wear baggy shorts. So I didn't feel comfortable at all. And I had to wear black boots. And I was really the trailblazer at the AFL back in '85. I started it all big marketing in AFL. You did. So I wore the baggy shorts and I didn't feel comfortable. I went down to pick the ball up. I got a pass off, what's his name? Let me think. Greg Williams.
Yeah.
He won 2.
Diesel.
When the ball dropped about 5 metres short, so I bent down to pick it up. Instead of one ball being there, there was 3 bloody balls. So lucky there was two blue ones and the red Sharon. So I thought, stuff this. I'm gonna make some money out of this. I'm gonna be the rock star of the AFL. So I got my son's size 4 shorts. I squeezed in, and the song came out 3 weeks later. Guess what it was called? Oh, we hate you, Warwick Capper. Yes, we do. Long blonde. Those tossers in your socks. We even hate the doctor too. We hate you, Warwick Capper. Yes, we do. Guess what?
What?
So 1.3 million were homosexuals. The other 300,000 hated me guts, but it got me out there.
He got you right out there. Well, isn't that interesting? A pair of tight shorts, and look what it's done. A pair of tight shorts and a mullet.
Well, I've been able to climb an for a while. And,
you did not.
From Neighbours in '85, I taught her how to sing and dance. I did. Have a look on YouTube. It's the number 1 show.
You're killing me.
Then I was the meter maid in the gold shorts, so she copied off me.
Listen, what I was going to say to you was that one of the things that interests me is that you rely a lot on external media. So, I've seen you on all, radio, TV, newspapers, all that, the boat show, all that type of stuff. But I wonder why you don't go, like I have with this show, and create your own media. Why wouldn't you have the Warwick Capper YouTube channel that is a show unto of its own? Or why don't you have the Warwick Capper podcast? You're better suited to video.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, well, I've got my pilot in the works now for Fox, and that might be taken as we speak. It's called Warwick's World, which goes around the world. That's what I'm hoping to get. Because I was the first reality star back in '84. I was on the ABC. A show called The Fat, and I was the first guy to actually do it before Kardashians and Osbournes. It was called The Cappers. I don't know if you remember it, but it's
no, I don't.
And that's how I started, because I'm a bit different. My life's been like a Hollywood movie script, and I had 15 episodes on The Fat back in '84.
Right. Well, that's relying on someone else's media, but I just think there's a lot of people out there these days making money by being their own media, YouTube channel, podcast, whatever it is, and you've got a head start. I've created a very, very small personal brand in a small niche, whereas you've got a head start in that you do have a name, albeit within, I don't know how far it reaches, whether it goes beyond the boundaries of a few states in Australia that know AFL football, or whether you really are big in Thailand or whatever. But I don't know, mate. That's my bit of advice. Where do I send the invoice for that bit of advice? That's
okay. I'll send my invoice to you for the show. It's usually about 20 grand, mate. So I'm wavering.
Hey, let's talk.
I'm making you a movie star.
You're making me a movie star. Public speaking, I do a lot of it. You do a lot of it. I am slowly learning to be good at it. And one of the things that I've discovered over the last couple of years as I do it more is that it's so important to get your message right. It's so important to get a laugh, and so important to know what the end takeout is going to be for the audience. Now, how have you gone? You'd have a whole lot of gags, but how have you gone about constructing a proper, presentation, keynote? I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, well, I'll answer that question. What I did was, because I talk too fast, I learned to slow down. So I've got a microphone in the stereo. In the old mansion up in the Gold Coast, I used to practice in front of the mirror and just try and string out for 25, 30 minutes. And then I put down about 17 key points. This is how I started about 28 years ago. And then I went for those key points. And the first 20 shows, 50 shows, are pretty ordinary, to tell you the truth. It took me a couple of years to get the hang of it, at least. You probably agree with it. And then I went for my key main points, which were on the pedestal. And after about 20 shows, 30 shows, I didn't need the points. It was just in my head. And I sort of go from my life where I started now. how I had a passion to play league football because my dad broke his leg and he missed out, so I wanted to get the name proud.
Yep.
And I think I achieved that, but it was a lot of hard work and perseverance. And then it was about branding, trying to stay ahead of everyone else and be a bit different and perform under pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you've got a very clear structure in your mind now, slowing down. Geez, another heavy breath, mate. You really you need to go for more runs, I reckon.
Oh, no, I just lost 5 kilos. I'm getting fit for the EJ Whitten game next month.
Oh, nice. Nice. That will be fun.
Lost 5 kilos.
Tell me, I've got last question from forum member here, Capper. I've got Mark Penny, who's SMBcloudadvisor.com. He says, an interesting choice of interview, Timbo. He is a polarising person. I feel there is more to behind the mask than we realise, so we've kind of covered that. He then goes on to say, what advice does Capper have for people to make the best of a bad situation in business or life?
Okay, that's a good one. Well, I reckon always try and look at the positives because I'm actually the clan doctor too for the Royal Children's Hospital, thanks to Peter Jess, the manager, and he's my accountant. He set that up for me. And I think there's always someone a lot worse off than you know, so try and think of the positives in life and get the best out of yourself. And it's a pretty terrible economic situation at the moment in Australia. It's really hard times. You know, we're one of the highest taxing countries in the world. And it's not easy to get ahead. So I think you really just got to try and stand out a bit and be true to yourself. And don't employ too many staff to start off with. Try and do most of yourself. Jeez, mate,
you're giving business advice now.
Oh, well, why wouldn't I? Whilst I'm here, keep your overheads down and start off small.
Tell me that one last question about businesses. You've got a business, I'm not sure how active it is, but Weekend at Warwick's, I think, it's a clever little thing. So you charge how much for people to come and live with you for a weekend in the Gold Coast penthouse?
Yeah, about $5,000.
$5,000? What do they get?
Small business, money well spent. They get time with me, it's the main thing. Doesn't matter at the house, really. They get time to come with me and hang out in the Ferrari and the hot cars and the hot girls. We go to Hollywood Club.
Right.
We go take them out for tea, and they have about 3-day experience with me. Go to the beach with them, have a kick of the footy, have a barbecue, watch my favourite highlights, which takes about 9 hours because I've done a fair bit. They can sit in the lounge room on the 74-inch plasma and go, Capper, you beauty!
They would love it. How often do you do it?
I showed the highlights last night to the girlfriend, and she goes, I'm not again, Warwick. I said, I just found my ad. Have a look at this. And then I was in Warwick Capper heaven 2 days ago because Fox Footy loves me. They put my game on last 2 weeks, like one against Collingwood in 87. I kicked a lazy 9, had a bad game. And then 2 days ago, they put Geelong versus Sydney. I kicked 6. And it says Warwick Capper lining up for his 95th goal, 50 metres out. I can't believe it. Straight through.
That one sailed through, didn't it?
I even surprised myself.
Yeah, I bet you did. You didn't show it, though.
I did kick 195 goals in 2 years, though.
Hey, Warwick, everything comes to an end. You know, you love the public life and you've got a whole lot of businesses. Do you plan far ahead or do you just... Geez, mate, you are breathing as heavy as I reckon anyone I've known.
That's because I'm on the handpiece. Well, I was watching my adult movie 10 minutes ago, so I'm very excited.
I thought you were blow drying the mullet.
Yeah, I did have number one movie too, adult movie, which you know that too.
Well, go on, tell the listeners. I try to keep it clean, but from my understanding, I've heard you talk about this to Mike Sheehan, that you're talking about an adult movie that got out. This is not your proudest moment, is it?
No, that was okay. That was just accidentally leaked out like Paris Hilton because they caught Warwick Capper the Paris Hilton of Australia.
Yeah. I must find that at some point.
That was unusual, yeah. Went quite well. But getting back to your question, yeah, I plan for the future a bit. I've got a couple $1 million of the real estate, no debt, so I'm going all right. So you got to try and look after yourself and plan ahead a bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely you do, mate. Well, I think one of the things that you've done, and I don't know what the stats show, but most professional sports people, I'm sure, don't go on and create businesses that see them into the future. They kind of live for the moment. And one of the things that you've done is, you've managed off your own bat. You've created a whole lot of small businesses that have allowed you to, I guess, if you say you're debt free and, you got the 74-inch plasma, mate. I mean, they're not cheap.
Yeah, I've got a house in Kew with $2 million. They've got the Gold Coast penthouse, so it's going okay. Yeah,
you got a house in Kew, the Catholic Bible Belt of Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm in fuck you, so it's great. Yeah, all the Chinese love me. I've got a Chinese tattoo.
What's it say?
And they asked me, my neighbour's Chinese, they said, what's your tattoo say, Warwick? And I said, oh, that says number 69, creamy young some guy. She didn't laugh either.
No.
Very funny. So you got to laugh at yourself, mate, don't you?
Mate, you have got to laugh, and I'm going to thank you, mate, because you've made me laugh over the years. We've never met, but you have made me laugh, and every time you make me laugh, I ask myself the question as a marketing guy, is he funny? Did anyone see me laugh? I often look around to see if anyone saw me laugh.
I've done a million shows, and if they don't laugh at me jokes, I laugh at them anyway, and I say, well, I thought it was funny. I don't like it, bad luck. And then I used to work with Chopper Reid, and I used to say, well, if you don't, when Chopper was alive, I said, well, if you don't laugh at his jokes, he'll cut your ears off, so it doesn't worry me, so you better start laughing.
Correct.
I only take what's mine.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I didn't even know how to get out of that interview. It was he's a funny fellow, and good on him. Warwick the Wiz is having a real crack. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. Before I share my top 3 learnings, I want to tell you about a little secret that smart business owners everywhere are onto. Have you got marketing materials lying around that need a little tweaking? Maybe the details on your stationery need a bit of updating. Maybe your logo needs pimping. Maybe your social media headers need a little bit of design love. No worries at all. That'll be $19 and it'll be done in an hour thanks to Swiftly.com. Small design fixes fast. That's exactly how they roll. You upload your artwork that needs fixing, tell them what needs doing, and within less than an hour and $19 later, it's done. Check them out at Swiftly.com. That's SWIFTLY.com. Righto, team. So, Warwick Capper, hey? I'd love to know what your learning was from it. Maybe some of you are going, I got nothing from that. But have an open mind. This is a guy who is having a crack. He's making the best of what he's got. My top 3 takeaways are: look for every opportunity to promote your business. And boy, oh boy, did Walker do that. He, even talking about seeding up front. I mean, he's dropping domain names. He just loves it. He's a hustler. Number 2, seek out podcast interviews. I've said this before. Many wouldn't. I wasn't sure whether Capper would say, yeah, I'll come on your show or not, but he did, and good on him. Again, he takes the opportunities when they're there, because they might not be there tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Number 3, stop relying on other people's media and create your own. I am surprised that Warwick isn't creating more of his own media. He relies a lot on other people's media, and he gets good coverage. In fact, he was on the radio tonight, just before I went to record this episode. But I do think he should spend some time and dough in creating his own. I think a YouTube channel would be a good thing for him, because he's quite a visual character. They're my top 3 learnings. Would love to know what yours are. Go to the smallbusinessbigmarketing.com website, head over to episode 194, and let me know what you thought of the Wiz. Righto, team, that's it. That is enough. Get inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. Take some swift action now. And I'd love to see you in there. I'm in there every day answering your questions and supporting you in your marketing journey. A big thank you to Net Registry. They get your online marketing sorted. Swiftly, well, they do small design fixes real fast and real cheap. Upcoming guests, what about this? 2 young ladies who convinced me that sex sells. Like I needed convincing. A couple of travel bloggers that are living the dream, and a fellow who's making a fortune reviewing frozen foods. Interesting, and that's his second job. So lots of interesting guests coming up. Enough. I'm Timbo Reid, and you have been smart enough to tune in to the world's #1 small business marketing show. May your marketing be the best marketing. See you next week.
You've been listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show with Tim Reid. Want more marketing goodness? Then visit smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
Yeah, Warwick Capper. AFL legend and movie star. Their rooms are great rates, they're cheap and easy, just like me.